Hey guys, welcome to SuperMarcelWorld. So yesterday I attended the special Dutch premiere of Halloween, the highly anticipated new Halloween film. I was so excited, I couldn't wait to see it. But the big question going in was, will it be as good as I hope and as I expect? Or will it disappoint? I'll let you know how I feel. Here we go! The story. 40 years after that bloody Halloween night in 1978, where Michael Myers killed all of Laurie Strode's friends, a now prepared but traumatized Laurie awaits Michael's inevitable return. When Michael indeed does return, Laurie has to protect her daughter and her granddaughter by facing and eliminating the boogeyman. What I like. Michael and the kills. I love how they keep Michael Myers mysterious. That's where his power lies. That's what Carpenter has always said, the less you know the better. They don't go digging in his past to see what fucked him up. No, they keep it the way it is, they keep it a mystery, and that really works. In the film they try a few times to get Michael to speak. At some moments you really expect him to say something, but luckily for us that doesn't happen and Michael remains silent. He is, however, more brutal than he was in the original. The kills are terrific, they're really hard, really brutal. They're surprising and gory, but not too gory. Well, maybe except for the one with the head. Laurie Strode. I really love Jamie Lee Curtis. I always have. And she really shines here. Even though about halfway in you really start to miss her, she comes back strong after that. I love how Laurie is traumatized ever since that Halloween night in 1978, and Curtis really brings something special to the role. I know she always has, but even more so this time. She's really traumatized, emotional, maybe even a little bit crazy, but you know, you really feel for her. You get what she's going through and you really understand even if her family doesn't. Curtis shows a haunted and traumatized side of Laurie, but she also shows a strong, ready for action side. And I love that now she has a daughter and a granddaughter, which gives her so much more to fight for. Story and homage. Well, it's not the world's best and most surprising story, but I think it's a good one. It's strong at times, it has a few surprises, it has some brutal and dark moments, and it's very well paced. It reminded me of an old locomotive. You know, it's strong, it starts gaining and gaining, and you're racing towards that inevitable ending. Oh, it's coming, and when it comes, holy hot damn, really. Whew, I loved it. The writers clearly know how to make the fans happy by offering us a lot of tributes and tips of the hat to the original and even some of the sequels. Look closely for the masks from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I also spotted an African-American bald man with the outfit of LL Cool J in Halloween H2O. So that was really cool. There's a similar bathroom scene as the one in H2O, even though this one is a lot more brutal and graphic. There were a few more, but I'm sure I can find a lot more if I give it a second viewing. There's also some familiar camera work and some familiar shots, which I won't spoil for you because they're a surprise. What I don't like. Dr. Sartain. In the beginning of the film we're introduced to Dr. Sartain, which Laurie later describes as the new Loomis. The doctor was a student of Loomis and he has been with Michael and has studied Michael for years. In my opinion the character doesn't add much after that first scene in the rehabilitation clinic. And in my opinion perhaps the film would have been better off without that character in the rest of the movie. Dr. Loomis's voice. We're treated to some audio dialogue of Dr. Loomis. And it had to be done by a new actor because Donald Pleasence unfortunately isn't with us anymore. But the new actor, you know, he kinda sounds like him, I guess, but it's too off. I think they could have done way better. You know, they did the same trick in Halloween H2O during the opening credits. That actor sounded a lot more like the late, great Donald Pleasence. Hit and miss. Well, I found a few elements of which I thought they were good, but they were either underused or overused. For instance, we get to see some moments of a really traumatized Laurie, and there's one scene in a car where she's by herself and her nerves and her anxiety really start to break her up. You know, Curtis is a terrific actress and she really could have pulled this off, but the way it's done and the way it's edited and executed, it just really falls flat. The moment where she breaks and starts to scream, it has 2 or 3 flashy cuts and bam, they cut away. Curtis is terrific, she can pull it off. I'm sure she pulled it off in that scene, but they decided to edit it and shoot it that way, which is really weird to me. It really sells her short. It could have been a very powerful, emotional scene, and if you've heard some of the interviews with the director and Jamie Lee Curtis, this would apparently be a very powerful, emotional performance by Curtis, but they edited it totally wrong. I would say keep the camera on her. I don't care if it's 20 seconds or 30 seconds, have her go. And don't cut away and don't flash cut it and ruin it. Example, T2, Linda Hamilton, in that room where she's telling about her dream. The camera's on her and she really delivers that performance. And I'm sure Curtis did it, but they just messed it up in the editing room. Why? Too bad. Another example is a kid who's being babysitted by one of the teens. You know, he has 2 or 3 really funny lines and he's there for comedic relief, and it's fine, it really works. But after that, they run with it too long and he becomes really irritating and he really stands out from the movie. Less is more. They should have gone with the 2-3 lines that worked and kept it that way. Too bad. And one last example, Michael gets wounded at a certain point and it goes by pretty fast, but it looked pretty serious. But after that, it isn't seen or referenced at all. Okay, see, I don't need a scene to see Michael Myers patch himself up with duct tape or bandages. I don't care. I don't need to see that. But, you know, they could have used it to maybe Laurie's benefit. Or maybe they could have shown him bleeding or whatever. Just, you know, he's hit, he walks off and it's gone. In the scenes after, he appears to be in perfect shape. Shape, you know the shape, Michael? Okay. Most magical moment. Laurie versus Michael. Now, you know it's coming, you're waiting for it, you know it's going to happen, and boom, there it is. And oh my god, it's such an epic finale and fight, climax. I won't give you any more information, but holy damn does it deliver. I loved it so much, I was on the edge of my seat. It's a really strong finale, it's really good. Did you know? The Babysitter Murders. On a TV set in a news bulletin, the 1987 murders are described as the Babysitter Murders, which was John Carpenter's original title for his original film. Clean slate. The film ignores all previous sequels and reboots. It ignores all those films and just goes back to the original 1978 classic by Carpenter and picks up from there. 40 years later. John Carpenter. This is the first time that the master of horror, John Carpenter, the co-creator of the original, has returned to the franchise ever since the 3rd one. After that, he always stayed out of the franchise, and now exactly 40 years later, he was persuaded to come back, and boy did it pay off. I'm so happy that he was on board as producer, but also for scoring the film. Overall, 2018's Halloween is a real treat, and it has a few tricks. Okay, that was a lame playoff of Trick or Treat and it doesn't really work. Sorry. It has some really brutal kills, a scary Michael Myers. Jamie Lee Curtis shines once again as a really strong, powerful lead, maybe even more so this time. There are a lot of surprises and nods to the original, which is really cool to, you know, pick them up and, oh yeah, I see what they did there. And all those little hints and tips of that to the original and some of the sequels is really cool. But another huge charm of the film is the score by John Carpenter. Wow, the score is terrific. It's dark, it's mysterious, sounds kind of old school, yet modern in the same way. It's such a terrific mix. It resembles his original work, but in a more modern vibe. I don't think anyone could have done a better job. The score is awesome. Another thing I really love is how in the opening credits, we see this destroyed pumpkin and it slowly regains form. And by having the pumpkin returning back to form, I think they're basically saying is, you know, the franchise was beaten, it was broke, it was done, thanks a lot Rob Zombie, but we're bringing it back to form. I love it. And in my opinion, that's what they really did. The original film spawned so many different timelines and it became kind of clouded to go from either one of those lines. So I get the choice of saying, you know, we're going back to the original, the one that everybody loves, and go from there. You can see it as a totally new film, and you can see it as a follow-up to the 1978 film. It works both ways. I give 2018's Halloween 8 out of 10 pumpkins. So that's it for now, guys. Did you see Halloween yet? Let me know below how you feel. What did you love? What did you hate? Let me know. We'll talk. If you have the time, hit that like button. Maybe subscribe to see what I'll do next. Or check out some of my other videos which you kinda might like. And of course, as always, I hope to see you back next time. Bye!